All right, welcome. Thanks so much for checking out this video. I'm really quickly going to show you guys how to up your graphic making, maybe learn how to do it. But I'm personally going to use Picmonkey today. It's my go-to. It's what I use on the regular. And I do everything from editing photos, creating graphics for my challenge groups, to creating fun collages. And you can also do things like make invitations and business cards. So much. But I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen and get started right here. Okay, so it's just www.picmonkey.com, as you can see. And up here, you have the option to probably try out a free trial if you are unfamiliar with Picmonkey or never used it before. I have paid for my subscription. I think it's about $47 for the whole year, which is great because it gives you access to a lot of fun features. But again, if you're new to it, you can just do that free trial. And then up here at the top little bar, you can see that you have a couple different options. So you've got edit, and what that's going to do is going to allow you to choose a photo from your computer to either put some fun filters on, add some text, stuff like that. Touch up is going to be more of your photo editing as far as fixing facial blemishes or throwing on some lipstick. That's a little bit more fancy, more than what we usually probably will need this for. The design button, as you can see right here, is where you're going to create those graphics like your cover photos or your check-in graphics, stuff like that. And a really, really cool feature that Picmonkey has recently added is the templates, which we'll get to in a second. But this has been a really big game changer for me because it gives you this whole layout. You can choose from hundreds and hundreds of templates, and you can just easily change the text and already have this amazing pre-designed graphic with your information on it. But yes, the last one over here is a collage. So those are always fun to make. You can grab photos off of Facebook, which I usually don't do. I usually just use what I have, saved on my computer. And the more button, I don't even know what that is. OneDrive, I don't know. But yeah, so a couple options up there to choose from. I'm going to start with the photo editing, and I guess I really haven't thought about what photo I'm going to edit here. There's probably a selfie of myself on here. Let me find one really quick. Okay. So when you click on your photo that you would like to work with, let's hope that this doesn't take forever to load today. Okay, random selfie of myself. This is where the magic happens. So over here is your little navigation bar. The top option right here on the left is gonna be the basics. So you have the cropping option, which of course you can crop your photo however you need to do that, if you would like to square it up more, anything like that. If you have a big photo on your screen like this, you're probably not going to want to hit canvas color because what it's going to do is just take it away. So don't worry about that if you're just editing a photo. You have the option to rotate, and then the next couple of these are just going to be like adding brightness, some highlights, stuff like that. So always make sure if you're playing around in here, you hit the apply button before moving on. Otherwise, it will not save. And so yeah, that's your first little option there. This is where the filters are. So the second one down, bunch of filters. And this is really cool. If you want to play around in here, it's kind of like Instagram. You just throw a filter on there and see what you can come up with, see what you like. Down one more is all this kind of serious photo editing, like blemish fix and wrinkle remover. Oh, I see one right there. See? Amazing, right? Takes it away crow's eyes. I think those are what those are called. I don't know. Yeah, if you really want to get into that photo editing. Teeth whitening's nice. But we like to be ourselves, so we don't usually do a lot of this stuff. We're just going to keep working our way down here. And once we know about all of these little buttons on the side, it's going to help us get through everything else a lot quicker. This is how you add your text. So many cool fonts. Like I said, since I pay for my subscription, this will give me access to quite a few more than what you might find on your free trial, but there's a lot of really great ones on the free trial. So all you have to do is pick your font, hit add text, and type away. Hello. From here, if you highlight this, you can change the color. You can do anything you want right there. Make it bigger, make it smaller, make it faded. Pretty easy to figure out so far, right? I'm gonna go ahead and delete that. See, there's a little delete on the toggle bar here. Delete, and that's how you add text to your graphic or your photo. I'm just trying to think. So if you want any type of overlay on your image, so I usually use these on just like a blank graphic that I'm creating, but this is where you find your shapes and fun little accents. So for example, I want a circle on my photo. I just come up here to the geometric one, grab a circle. If you want to change the color, you're just going to toggle over here to the right and pick the color that you want. And there's that. You can add text over top of this if you are doing an invite to some sort of group or anything like that. But you can also find fun things like lines, stars, lots of good stuff. Even Halloween or just like holiday themed. That's where that's going to be at. Okay. This is borders, frames, excuse me. I don't use them very often, but if you would like to fancy up your photo at all, you can throw something fun on there. See, it is like Instagram. I think that used to be what Instagram looked like a long time ago. A couple left here. Textures are sweet. So one of my favorites is the space texture, and I often throw these over top of like a banner, and I'll show you again when we get to that, but like it makes it spacey. So you probably wouldn't do this necessarily on a photo, but if you wanted to, you totally could. And you see these options. There's the saturation and the fade. Saturation is going to add more color. If you go to the right, if you take it to the left, it's going to remove the color. So up and down, if you like something halfway in between, cool, hit apply. If you don't love all of it, you can fade it out so you can barely see it, or make it more intense. So again, hit apply. Whenever you see the blend mode here, it's just going to give you different options to find what looks better. So I really don't know the meanings behind any of these words. All I've ever done is just hover them and see what happens. But yes, hit apply if you want to save it. And these will be more, we can use them more when we get to the graphic part of this. Themes, lots of Halloween stuff, Christmas, winter. They're fun when you get around the holidays, but if you want to make a 12 days of Christmas fitness banner, there you go. You can just pop these on. And whoops, I don't know what I just clicked on. This last one is going to be the templates, but we're not going to get into that right now. How do I get out of it? There we go. Okay, so that's photo editing in a nutshell, and I just wanted to go over what the sidebar looks like, what it means, what it does. I'm going to get out of this photo because I really am excited to get into the graphic design portion. So I don't want to save that. So banners for Facebook or just some special invites, you're going to come to the design section. You got a couple options. I usually use the custom size because if I'm coming in here, chances are I am making a Facebook banner. And if it's for a group, if you have a notepad, you might want to write this down. You're going to want to go 801 by 250 on your dimensions for your pixels, okay? This is gonna create the correct size for Facebook, for a Facebook group only. So the cover photo sizes change for an event page, a group, and your main page, but this is the event page. Group. So once you get those numbers typed in, they do have to be in that order, 801 by 250. You're gonna click make it. So it gives you this perfect little shape right here to work with. And you can do absolutely anything you want to this. So I always start with the canvas color. And usually I have no idea what I want before I get started. I just play around with it, find something I like, and just don't make it too complicated, okay? If you have a favorite color, if your favorite color is purple, find a shade of purple. Work your way up and down over here. And if you want to make it darker, you're going to work with this lower half here. To the left darker, to the right lighter. Always apply it before you do anything else. From here, this is where you decide usually what you're going to put on there for text. Okay, you can do this in any order you want, but I usually go right for the text. So what do I have coming up next? So 14 days of gratitude. So I'm going to add my text on here. I'm going to pick a color that we can see. So I'm going to lighten things up a little bit if you wanted to do, a yellow, anything like that. Your preference. Pulling down is going to make it bigger. And now I really want to show you guys this really fun feature that has recently been added to Picmonkey. If you ever need to outline your text to make it pop a little bit more, this is how you're going to do that. So after you choose your color, up here, you'll see the effects option. If you click on that, you get two options right here. We're going to start with style. You come to the type, and my favorite to go with is drop shadow. Now notice how that added the black behind the text. You can play with that in here. You can create more distance. You can even change the color if you wanted to. Whoops, I don't want white. Black's great. And play with the intensity to make it pop. So if you are having a hard time seeing your text, this is how you're gonna help make it pop a little bit more on your graphic. But I don't need that right now. Usually I don't, but if you ever do, it's there. The other cool feature under the effects tab is going to be the curve. So this is the brand new feature that they've added. You've got the option to add an arc, which could go around a fun photo right here. Adjust the curvature, or circle. I'll make it smaller for a second. But it goes right around. And you just have to be careful of the fonts that you use. Always try to make them the most readable, per se. Like, some of the fonts get a little bit crazy and into cursive, and just make it pleasing to the eye and something that people can read. So I like to go with bolder fonts, and this is one of my favorites, actually, Blackjack. I'm sure you've seen this on a lot of people's graphics too, because it seems to be super popular. But that's how you're going to add your text onto your graphic. Other things that you might want to do here is play around with the overlays. So take your time looking through all of these options, but to spice things up just a little bit, I always kind of look for something that's going to break up the text and whatever images I decide to add. Okay, so here is a cute little line that they have as an option. So just recently did I figure out that you can do this. You pick your line, but if you make it bigger, it's going to get too big and take away from the rest of your space. So keep it small unless you want it big. And this is a really big tip and trick. So go ahead and write this down if you need to. You're going to right click on this line. You're going to see the options to send it to the back or duplicate the overlay. first of all, I'm going to send it to the back so it's behind the words, okay? And then I'm going to hit duplicate overlay. So that's going to give me another one. So I can just keep adding on so it takes up the whole space. Okay? So that is like a hack that took me forever to figure out. Instead of going back over here and having to click, 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 keep adding them, it just makes things quicker. But you can always kind of be aware of where your text is located versus the overlay. Chances are you're probably going to want the text on top so you can see that better. All right. And again, lots of, some of the biggest ones that I use in here are going to be the lines, arrows. They're so much fun. My favorite one actually is this one right here. Arrows are always in there. And the other part of this is if you want to add a photo of yourself or something else, you see the button right here, add your own. So click on that. Oh, look at there. We'll go with the Allegro logo today. Double click and voila. So if you have, I should actually pull up a real photo so this makes more sense. If you want to use, this is my friend Deb, we'll use her photo. So that's just gonna pop up a photo on there for you. And then you get, again, more creative with the sizing. So make it smaller, make it bigger, or if you want to add an angle on it, you can grab this little circle at the very top, drag left, drag right. I said that backwards, but you're here, okay? So, you know, these, it's great to add these overlays, well, photo-wise at least, when you want your photo on your challenge banner as Coach D or Coach Alyssa. Just kind of pop it in the corner. And then you can always, I'm gonna move my arrow. I don't wanna get rid of it yet because I like it. Get your picture adjusted and then head back over to the text. Pick your text and Coach Deb. Same thing goes with the text. If you want it to be on an angle, tilt it. So this is where we would apply that whole drop shadow. This is usually when it happens because, whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Style. Drop shadow, voila, you can actually see what it says now. So if you ever have a photo and you're putting text over top of it, good time to head over here to Effects, Style, Drop Shadow, and play with your colors a little bit, okay? Anything else when it comes to your banner creation or graphic creation is kind of in your hands. So being creative is super fun, but my biggest tip to you is do not waste all of your time playing with this. Yes, the graphics are a big part of what we do and they need to be eye-catching, but you're not going to be great at it overnight. It's taken me a long time to figure it out, and it's going to take you a little bit too, but you'll get there. And of course, if you ever have any questions about this, let me know. But pretend like this graphic is beautiful and it's done and just what I wanted. As far as saving it goes, you're just going to come up here. So if you decide, really quickly, if you decide you want to get an account with Picmonkey, they have a really cool option called the Hub, where you can save this image. If it's not completed, if you need to come back to it later, or if you feel like you're going to have to edit it in any way, there's the Hub. And I'll show you what that is. So you could change the name of your image and it's just going to throw it into this cloud in your account that you can bring it back up later. If you feel like it's complete, it's perfect, it's just what you need, you don't need to edit it anymore, you're going to want to go to the export. And then from there you can save, you know, call it whatever you want. In the quality options, I usually leave it right here in the center one, Pierce. It's great resolution, good file size. Now, This usually doesn't leave it pixelated or grainy at all, but you do have the option to go up to a higher resolution, larger file size. All right, and if you ever have trouble exporting your photo, you can click here to download the image, and make sure you save it before you do anything else. All right, so that's graphic making. We're gonna save some questions for the end. So I know, Dee, you're probably thinking up some. Do you wanna ask them right now? Do you have anything? No? Okay, we'll just wait till the end. But yes, so that's how you're gonna create your graphic. Now guys, if you're done here, you can exit out of it. I'm not gonna save that. Let's see here. So if you wanted to hover over design, you can just click on blank canvas. Okay, it's gonna pop up all of these different sizes. And if you're not sure what you need, I'm gonna have you just hover over here. Print size is amazing. So if you are working on a flyer of some sort or a business card, this is where you're gonna wanna go before you do anything. So say I wanna create a flyer, like a full-size piece of paper flyer. Print size, 8.5 by 11, and what did I just do? 8.5 by 11. You can choose a blank canvas right here if you want to start from scratch, or this is what I was talking about when I said a ton of amazing templates. So I'm going to exit out of this 8.5 by 11 just so I can show you guys. Usually it doesn't matter the size if you're just creating your own graphic. But look at this. See, some of these look familiar. I just used these both for Allegro. I just edited them. Edited it? Either way, so fun. And a really neat one. I'm just going to scroll so you can soak this all in. Make this your own. That's what it's there for. But you can also, I like to go fitness. They've got some cool stuff in here. And, you know, whether you want to use your own photo or not, that's up to you. But this is a popular one that I like to use. So again, I think this is the paid feature. I'm not sure, but I tell you what, it's so worth investing in because it cuts the work in half. So you'd open this up and all you have to do is hit customize. This is literally going to open up that image and allow you to make any adjustments to it that you want. So if I just want Melissa Rose fit on here, let me make it fit the page. All right, literally all I have to do, change the words, and if you already like the background and everything else, personalize it and hit save. This is where I do a lot of my work. I go into that templates option. So you have to be careful when you want to create like a Facebook banner or something because like I said, you need the special sizing, which I'm sorry I don't have it written down. I only have the group one memorized, but you can easily find the special sizing if you just type in Google. So if you go into Google and say event page, Facebook event page, cover photo size, you'll get it. And if you want to use the templates for that, you can always go over here. Sometimes this works, sometimes it doesn't. But we're going to have to resize this image for it to fit my Facebook group. So I go to the top up here, and all the way down, you're going to find the resize option. So first of all, unclick the keep proportions, because that's going to mess us all up. We're back to the 801 by 250. Apply. So you can see here what happens is sometimes it kind of makes the image not look exactly the same because it took a big image and stretched it out. Like I said, you can get lucky sometimes and have it work. Like this is fine to me. Like I'd be totally fine with that. People can get the gist of what it is. But the templates are going to be a little bit better for you when you're just creating an invite graphic or a flyer or something like that. All right, so that was a lot. soak it all in. You can always come back to the video. And the last thing I really, really wanted to touch on is the collage feature. So there's some cool textures in here. I should have made like a folder that I was going to use of photos. Okay, let me walk you through this. Collage. You choose where you want the photos from. Oh, I can just hit samples. Click here. And those are pretty pictures. I like the candy corn. So this is cool because you can also make a Facebook cover photo in here. You're going to start on the left. The top button is going to be your images. Below that is where you're going to choose your collage layout. So one that I use very often is either cards, because it's just in a straight line, square deal. You can add more photos this way, or just pick one that you really like. The Pinterest one is cool too. So you'll click on whatever one you like, and then you shoot back up to images. This is where you're just going to drag and drop. You can play around with this. If you want to be more zoomed in on a photo, you're just going to click this little button, size, work your way in, work your way out. You can tilt your photo, flip it, anything fancy like that. And if you need to add a photo somewhere where there is not a square, all you need to do is drag it. It's gonna see how there's a little bit of a highlight behind the photo. Drop it right there. And that's how you're gonna add some more spaces or squares. If you need to get rid of one, you can click the X in the top right corner where it'll say remove image. And then if you want to delete your box, remove cell. Easy. The one below the layouts option is going to be your swatches. I like this because, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this a fall theme really quick because it's going to bother me. That's the nerdy design person in me. Okay. Oops. I'm going to delete that one. Fall theme. So now we're down to swatches. If I want to make this one cell, I'm just going to click to exit out of one of them. I'm going to head over here, pick one of my favorites. Spider webs are cool. And drop them in here, and you have space to add text, which I'll show you in a moment. But say you don't really like the white outlines of this layout. If you come up here or come down here to the background option, you can A, change the color of the background, or B, come up here to spacing, get rid of it completely. So you have that option. You have the option to round the corners of the photos, or if you go all the way to the left, get rid of the background there. Okay, so you love your collage, you're done, you're ready to add some text to promote your challenge group to it. You're gonna hit send to editor. It's gonna ask you if you're sure, because if you leave this collage section, you're not gonna be able to come back and change your photos. So just make sure you're 100% ready to export to the editor. Voila, you can add your text, right? So this is where you'll type in challenge group name, information, add some more text below, and you have a beautiful collage, and you're ready to rock. All right, so that's Picmonkey in a nutshell. I mean, there's so many good features on here that you can play around with, learn, and really start rocking your graphic making and make some really eye-catching designs that are going to have people say, hey, what is she doing? What is that? I like it. And yeah, I guess what I'm going to do next is just open it up for some questions, see if you have any.
Well, I think the only thing that I have really gotten stuck on with Picmonkey, you kind of answered, because
Good.
what I would get stuck with was I would have a photo and then I would try to add text, and they didn't know about the canvas option.
Oh, here's Jack. Sorry.
Got my dogs back here too.
Oh, he loves this.
So it makes so much more sense to start with the empty canvas and then add the photo, so that way I've got room to do writing, because I was always starting with the photo and just trying to figure out, well, how am I going to get my writing to show up over top of this?
Right. So yeah, that's really great to just start with the blank canvas and the design feature. And then, you know, the other thing you can do too is if you really like this overlay from the collage section, you could just do the collage as well with your photo and your overlay next to it, and then head to the editor and add some extra text on the side of that as well.
Like the swatch overlay that you put at the bottom of this one?
Yes.
Is that what you mean? Yeah.
So if you wanted side by side, you could figure that out too.
Yeah, and that is another thing that I'd never done before. So
there's so much more to it than you'd ever know.
Yes. Well, yeah, and I think this is the perfect amount of information at once. Otherwise, you know, we could get overwhelmed with all the.
Right.
But this is a perfect start, and I loved how you said, don't get hung up on taking hours on something.
It's not worth it. And like I said, it'll come with time. So once you play around, you know, take a little bit out of your day to just go have some fun, because I hope you have fun doing it like I do.
Do you typically make a lot of graphics all at once in one sitting and then use them for different posts? Or do you make a graphic as you're writing a post?
I have to be inspired in the moment. So I usually go one by one.
Yeah.
If I'm going to make a check-in graphic, I will, this is just a pro tip, check-in graphics I keep consistent. The only thing I change on them is the day, right? Okay. So it'll say day 1 and same background, same text, same words every single day. That way you don't have to go and recreate. You can just save. You'll have your image still there, change the day, and then save again. So it takes, you know, it cuts back on time for that.
Yeah. When you are posting your personal posts on Facebook, do you use Picmonkey, or do you use just something more on your phone that's quicker?
So anything that I usually, I guess for my posts, for the most part, I just use Instagram and I gotta look. I think it's called WordSwag.
Okay.
It's an app called WordSwag, and that's how I do most of my text on my photos. And like I said, I rarely use Picmonkey for my day-to-day posts. It comes into play more so with challenge group graphics or banner making.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, but
otherwise you would take way too long doing.
Yes, I would. And here, I'll show you guys the app. I don't know if you can see the bottom down here, WordSwag.
Okay.
That is a huge one. And then I do all of my editing on Instagram.
Okay.
Like picture editing. I rarely use Picmonkey for picture editing.
Have you ever used Photofy?
I think I have that, but I haven't really dug into that one so much. I actually do think I have that. Yes, I do. Okay. That's really great for text overlays too.
Yeah, I've used that one, but
okay.
Does WordSwag cost anything? Do you know? Is it?
There's a free option.
Yeah.
I think I paid for a one-time fee to take the 99-cent logo off of it. And it's been great ever since.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but I feel like we could do another Zoom totally on using your phone.
Yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that next.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. Well, I hope this was super helpful, and you know, come back to it whenever you need to, or come to me.
Yeah, sounds great.
Okay. All right, you guys, we'll use this up, and I will talk to you soon.